What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Let me just get my camera situated. Yeah. So today I'm going to show you how I do my 3D drippy drips on my tumblers. I went ahead and started this one, but I'm going to show you how I did it on this one that I need to finish up. Huh. Looks like a troll. So I hope you're all having an awesome day. We've been busy today running errands and getting caught up from my being fully engulfed in crime and craft. So we're playing catch up as of late. I wonder if I turn a profit from having to watch the commercials before looking at my channel. What's up, Joseph? How are y'all doing today? So first things first, I went ahead and did a proof of concept with this. What is this? A tumbler. I'm gonna put that aside. This isn't really that sticky anymore for me to show you how to do this with gold leaf. So what I'm gonna do is kind of melt the hot glue.
Sorry, y'all.
So I'm gonna kind of melt the hot glue. I don't know why you're not. Oh.
Just making it the way it was.
Yeah. So as you can see, hot glue melts quickly.
So did you burned it off?
No, I liquefied it so I can show them how to do the gold leaf. And I used too much heat. It got away from me. It's crazy. What's up, Emma Kate? Susan, Melody, Joseph, Thank you to everybody that left a review for me while I was dealing with people. You can't make anyone happy sometimes. Nope. It's impossible to make some people happy sometimes. That's what I meant to say. So while it's not completely goopy, but you could still pull a string off.
Goopy.
I like to lay my leafing down. I'm not putting too much pressure. This is actually, you can buy a gold leaf brush or you can just save money and use an old makeup brush.
You want it to be super soft, but a little firm right? So it kind of gets into the little ditches and
the little nooks and crannies. So I'm just kind of dabbing my paintbrush on here, and then I'm also scooting some of the foil up under these the ridges, and I'm going to show you how I did the ridges in just a moment.
Ruffles have ridges.
True. This is kind of the easy part, the quick part, so kind of just going to get this out the way. Hot glue doesn't take that long to dry. Also, I have a jar aside that I save all of my overstock. Waste not, want not. And now that the cats aren't here to just tear it up, I can just save that. Okay, so after your glue is dried completely,
I think
you can dust it off.
Boy Cat knew when you said waste not, want not. And he'd be like, oh, that's that metally stuff I like.
It probably is the point where he came out. So before I put this on the hot glue, I did I did do something. What was I talking about? Oh, I sanded the area where I was going to add the hot glue because it's essentially plastic. And if you want plastic to stick to plastic, much like when you do layers of resin, you have to create something for the next layer of resin to bond to. Therefore, sand it just a little bit. Bing, bang, boom. That looks so cute. But now I'm going to do it on another tumbler. And if you have like areas that just won't accept the gold leaf, like I have one right here that just is not having it, then I'm just going to go in later with just a sticky pen, dab it on there, and that'll be sufficient. There, now it's all drippy. But I'm going to leave this tape on because I'm going to do a coat of resin. Now I'm going to show you a different way to do that. But first, I have to finish out the piece first. I meant to do that. I don't know why I said that down there, but it's fine. So I need something. Acetone.
Can you suck that up?
Sure. Soft but dense. Yes. Jeff was just tidying up for me. Hello, Melody. Yeah, I can't. What am I gonna do? Maybe this.
Yeah, move it sideways and then yeah, pop it up.
So yeah, thank you to everybody that watched my crime and craft. It was such a fun time to do. Very stressful to get it done. I completely underestimated the time that it would take to edit things out and in, and I did not leave myself very much room for errors. Errors. So it took me some extra time. However, live and learn. Now I know what I do and don't want to do for the next one, which I have already filmed and started editing. It's a little bit different format because I want you guys to tell me what format you think works best for what we're trying to do here. Also, I hope you check out those other channels that I linked because they're really good if you like true crime. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's into true crime. I was actually surprised to find out how many people on my channel already was into true crime. Love that Tumbler. Thank you, Melody. It will be available. I'm really excited about the reception that you guys have had to the tumblers that we've been doing. All of the ones that Jeff has done so far have sold, which is pretty rad. He actually has a couple that he still has to do that were ordered, which is pretty great. Okay, so I'm going to use, I used all gloss spray paint this time. If you noticed on my Crime and Craft, I was having a real uphill battle trying to get that paint off, and that is because I use matte. So if you attempt to do this, use gloss. Just save yourself the heartache, because it will be some heartache if you use the wrong type of spray paint. If you want it to stay, if you have a color that you're like, this is fine, then make that a matte color because it's not going to come off. Also, if you want to see a full process of how and why I'm doing this to this tumbler, I have a bunch of them on this channel if you would like to check them out. I'm also thinking about doing Crime and Craft shorts where it's just essentially a voiceover of like an update in crime, a crime story. And it's just a voiceover while I'm working on an art piece. That way I don't have to think and look like I have no idea what I'm talking about, because I felt like that was a thing in the last one. I don't know if you guys notice. Let me see if I can turn a flash. So I layer a whole bunch of colors. If you watch my Crime and Craft, then you saw me spray paint a whole bunch of colors onto one of the tumblers, not this one. And I do that because I want to bring out the colors in layers. So you can see some of the purple I spray painted on there here, and the gold that's under the black. But I really like the distressed look. And if you use a nail while you do this, then you can get kind of a sharper, pointed edge right there.
What if you use like just a bunch of Q-tips too? Like just had them soaked, so you can go like pick some little ones.
I think that would work if you had the actual Q-tips. If you had knockoff kind, then those will bend before you were to take any paint off. Also, this is the one that I kind of skim coated while Jeff was working the other day. So it has a very thin layer of resin, so you can see a lot of texture. That one she painted the hood of?
Yes.
I didn't know it was Tesla. And if you wanted to add a couple of the streaks in areas where you didn't put any of the tape, you can just start with a finger.
Yeah, you can move your finger so then it gets a cleaner part.
Just work your way down. You don't have to tape off areas. It's just way quicker if you do. So you're going to go through quite a bit of acetone. Oh, goodness, if I'd have had gloss during my Crime and Craft, I would have gotten a lot further on camera. All right, we're almost done with this part. Sweet. Think it's looking good. All right, let's turn on our this. This is not sponsored by Ryobi, but if you're watching What's Up, they did not send us this. I actually think this came from Scarlett and Carrie Ward. But it's a, I guess, cordless. And my only complaint with it is that this hot glue turns into lava glue and it'll just melt out of the nose of this. So you have to really watch it. Okay. So yeah, that's going to take just a second to heat up, and then we're going to start doing our drips on here. I'm going to show you guys how I did that. So hello everyone. So love the new show. You did a great job. Looking forward to the next one. Well, thank you. I like it. Hi, Resin Art by Robin. I have, if you're asking, if you're going to ask, if anyone's going to ask about their pieces from, oh no, the fall sale. If you haven't gotten tracking yet, then you'll get it in the morning. I got really behind with other obligations, but I'm back to my normal self with all the things. So this is still heating up, which is fine. For this tumbler, I did the glitter layer, put a skim coat of resin, and did the layers of spray paint. I did tape the top of it up like this, but I'm going to leave it taped up because I don't want to get any of the hot glue on the clean rim that we're going to have on here. So not going to take this off. Touch of the fingerprints, they may show through the resin. So some of the fingerprints are actually from when I first was seeing if the resin was dried. I picked it up. And so you can see here, boop, boop, boop. That's actual shift in the resin. You can see the wrinkles in the epoxy. This right here is the rest of my palm print. And then I have a thumb somewhere. Oh, there it is. There's my thumb. But yeah, let me do something with those. Oh, this isn't going to look the same because this is going to be matte. Well, we'll just have some matte streaks in there too. Good looking out, Vamp. I don't know if you guys can even hear that texture when I'm going over that actual shift in epoxy. But I'm going to put some of this matte everywhere so it doesn't look off when it dries matte. I don't want it just in a few places. I'm kind of just fading it with my finger so that it's not a hard stop. You know what I mean? Jelly beans. Yeah, it's already starting to dry matte here. I don't have an enamel-based black pen.
No, none of these are enamel. Like, none.
Let's see if I can cover up some of it with this Sharpay. Nope.
Molotow, but it's acrylic.
So it's going to dry flat.
None of these are. I don't have any.
Well, aside from something. Yeah, I'm trying to find this. Aside from this, I don't know how else I could fix that even a little bit. But this may look fine. I didn't mind it matte, but it just kind of dried down in kind of a grayish hue, which I think would kind of disappear after putting resin on it. I think it would have, obviously it's not going to be matte after resin's on it. It just looked too different when it was dried down. So if anyone ends up with this tumbler, you will also inherit my fingerprints, just a couple, or a finger impression, rather. Okay. What's up, TG? Your OCD self is happy now. Josh said, just started epoxy, did my countertops a month ago. Going to put a fresh pan A biscuit's over it. Hope it holds up. Yes, hot pad under the pan. It should be fine. Just if you didn't let your, I'm assuming you did, but if you didn't let your paints off gas before you put the epoxy, you'll get some ambering from the gases when they heat up. They tend to rise and then it'll get trapped under the resin. So just be advised, it's something to watch out for. So yeah. Now, will this be dishwasher safe? I always tell people handmade, hand washed. So just,
That'd be interesting though.
yeah.
What's gonna be like blue?
Hello, Ron A. Your fingerprints end up in most of your art. Well, I don't feel so alone then. Okay. So let me make sure I'm in camera. Nope. There we go. So I'm going to put the tumbler at a little bit of a tilt, but not too much because I want it to run vertically. And actually, I'm going to bring you guys lower so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Okay. So my hot glue is liquid lava hot. It's dripping out of the end of my this. And I'm going to let it. You can either do this two ways. You can start where you want your liquid lava in this case. I'm going to turn it off for it to cool down just a little bit. You can start kind of where you want it to go or a little bit higher. And just keep letting it drip down as you go around. Mind the lip that you have already taped off. You don't want to go above that. And then just keep on around. I need to get you guys lower and more in the kind of more in it. There we go. Also, it's worth noting that you should go as fast as you can without getting sloppy so that your hot glue lines don't overlap like this. Unless you like that look, in which case, by all means. So now that I've had it off for a minute, it's going to give me a lot thicker of lines. Be a lot more forgiving. If I want the drip to go down really far, then I'll just kind of pump some extra glue in that area like this. Oop, I need another hot glue. Right. I think this is a super fun way to make your tumblers look a little bit different. Adding texture is always fun. All right. So that's how they look right now. I feel like I want to thicken some of them. So I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to work on this one. So I'm just going to come up like this. What's that?
Your black paint.
Just remember, every time you add, I almost called this resin, you're going to leave a different kind of texture. It's not going to be smooth around like this. It'll be a little something like that area right there. What about the black paint?
That this stuff is going to stick to that because it's so light.
I'm not doing that on this one. I'm doing this. That's why I just showed him on the other tumbler. Yeah, it would be too sticky. I think I like it. I don't want all the drips to be the same length. Maybe I'll do an extra long one here. Oh, it's getting wavy. I'll just have to drop some in like this and let gravity fix it. Oh, I know what's happening. It's not hot anymore. I turned it off. Please hold. So I'm not going to be putting gold leaf on this one like I did on the first one that we did because the paint is too sticky and it will be too sticky for a little while. So because of that reason, now look, I did this with coal. I'll answer my own question in just a second. So because of that reason, I'm just going to use gold paint on this one, but see that kind of candle waxy looking ripply deal. That's going to happen if your hot glue isn't as hot as it could be. So it's not going to, I just put my finger in that. It's fine. So it's not going to be smooth like this one. It's a little bit ripply. But you know what? This is Halloween, and if it's going to be ripply, then it's fine. It's whatever. Cold, snowy Wyoming. I want to play in the snow. The paint first sat for a day or two before. Okay, good. Yeah, you should have no problems. You should have no problems. All right, I think we're good with the glue. When I did drips, I let the resin really thicken. You can do that. I have some resin called High Build that was sent to me a long time ago from a resin brand in somewhere, the UK. And it worked pretty well, but it's not cheap at all. But it worked pretty well for, you know, what we were trying to do. Ooh, you guys, I almost just mixed resin before painting my drippy drips. That would have been bad. Use the hot glue to cover the resin shift. So it's because it spans so far, it would be really hard to coat those. They're all the way down here. I was going to make resin entirely too soon. Okay, so like I was telling Jeff a second ago, I'm not going to use the maybe I can use my liquid gold. Do I have any liquid gold? I'm not going to use the words are just leaving my brain right now. I'm not going to use this something. I'm out of liquid gold. I only have liquid silver. All right, it's fine. Not going to use the gold leaf because it would stick to the gloss paint because gloss paint stays sticky for basically forever. Something you can do if you wanted to and you didn't have a gold paint pen would be to spray some gold spray paint into a cup. If you want to do this, take all precautions about using spray paint or aerosol paint and just spray it down the side of a paper cup. Must use a paper cup because if you don't, your cup's going to melt. And then you can just use a paintbrush. Oops. And go over your these, but take your time. It's essentially just like the liquid gold that we carry, but the liquid gold that we carry comes in an already liquid little vial so that you don't have to worry about spraying the gold and it getting in the air in your lungs. It's just some little vial. I would argue that it's very easy to work with. Careful going over the same areas if you're going to use liquid gold, because when you do, it's going to pick up the existing gold. So you kind of have to work quick when using a spray paint with a paintbrush because it dries very fast. If you don't get it on the first pass, you have to just wait for it to dry and then do another layer. Do I sell that pen? I do have these pens on my website, the Pen Touch Gold pens. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I do have them on my website. So what we're going to do is coat these drippy drips. And then we're going to seal it all in resin. And I have ADHD, so I can't do any one area all at one time. I have to jump around. It's a struggle, but it's fine. Also, when you have your this in a cup, swirl it every once in a while, or else you'll end up painting just propellant. So typically, when I have to do something that's in bulk, I have to do a bit and jump around and do a different bit. Like when I have to stone something, I'll do an area and then jump to a different area and then go back. Probably just me. But I also find that it helps me to not have those sketchy lines from the paint drying in between, from when I have to go get more paint out of the cup to when I go back to painting again. Sometimes this liquid gold will just dry in just that amount of time. So jumping around just saves you from having a scratchy look, because you can always go back over it and paint it. You just have to wait for it to dry a little bit. Hope that makes sense. Snow in Orlando. Has that ever happened? And if you're not comfortable painting these while on here, you can always just paint some drips onto like parchment paper, wax paper, and then peel them off and glue them onto your tumbler. You don't have to do it on the piece. But if you do that, try to still do it vertically, because it's using gravity to make drips is so much easier than forcing the drips to be a certain way. It just looks way more natural if you just let gravity do what gravity do. These gold drips are so opulent. Opulence. You guys know why opulence is one of my favorite words? I bet Vamp knows. She knows all the trash TV that I watch. You're eating dinner? What are you having? If you go outside of your drip a little bit, like I did just there, don't lose sleep over it. It's a drip. In essence, it is a mess. Therefore, don't lose sleep over messes being messes. Messes are going to mess. Oh my goodness, there's no way I'm going to get this all done before it gets streaky. This long drip, I'm going to have to come back to finish the tip. Whew, we're almost done with this part. I somehow started watching this lady paint the lines on basketballs, like assembly line style. That was impressive. Those people work so fast and so accurately. By those people, I mean any line worker. Sweet, almost done. We just got to go back and fix a couple of the ones that we couldn't, and then we'll start mixing resin. It doesn't take this enamel paint that long to dry at all, which is why I like to use it for things like this and on my countertops. If you do spill out a little bit like that and you don't like it, just get a Q-tip and some acetone. You can clean that right up. Just be advised it's going to take the paint off if you did this rusticy type of look. Okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. No, already zoomed out. Okay. So what do you think about that? I think it looks really cool. So let's mix some resin. Let me get you guys up off the floor real quick. Sorry for the movement. Sorry for all that movement. Had to pick you guys up off the floor real quick. So now we can get started with this part. Okay, I'm gonna have to undo some of my this to get the tumbler on here. It's way easier to just have your tumbler already on the turner, but I couldn't do that. Because my turner is bolted on. You just gotta line this back up, no problem, easy peasy. There we go, we're ready for, that's a new fun sound. There we go. All right. Why is it doing that sound? It sounds like my turner's dying. I may have to get a new one soon. Can you guys hear that, or is it just me? I mean, look at it. It's time for a new one, I'm pretty sure. That may be the first tumbler ever made. Pan-fried chicken, that sounds amazing. So for this, I'm using the Alumilite Quick Coat, and I'm using the Alumilite Quick Coat because it is UV resistant and it's cured um, within 2 hours. Yeah, Melody, that is a 20 ounce tumbler. So I'm using little medicine cups to measure out my resin because I'm measuring out such a small quantity. I have a 5-cup turner, but I let my friend Tressa borrow it. She was supposed to come here this week, but she's a very busy person. She has a grown-up job, and she does epoxy. Very talented. So I'm using medicine cups to mix this resin because it's such a small quantity. I mixed 12 drams in total. Yours grinds all the time. I feel better then. Not you, Tressa. I mean, yeah, it's Tressa. I have oxygen that puffs loud. I'm used to those sounds. Oh, well, Jeff's compressor turns on every once in a while. You may have seen it in my Crime and Craft because it tried to sass me during my show. It's rude. Do you have the next case picked out? I already filmed the next case because I realized while doing the last one how much longer it takes to edit than I anticipated. And I had to refilm that case 4 times. I edited the video down completely 3 times and it always messed up. And so I'm just glad I finally got that last one out. However, the next one I'm doing is Erin Patterson. She is the Australian that is suspected of killing her in-laws with a beef Wellington, or more specifically, the mushrooms that she put into a beef Wellington. It's actually a current case and it's very interesting. But I filmed the second one with a friend of mine, Jenny Quinn. Some of you may have met her. Some of you may have seen her on our art sale videos. But I had a couple too many chocolate martinis, and so it got real crazy by the end of it. So I'm wondering if I want to edit that one down or just refilm it because it was a lot. It was just very chuckly by the end of it. And I don't know if that's something you guys would appreciate, but it was great to get her perspective because she is in the medical field. She's some level of nurse. And so I got to get her input on what the hospitals would test for without knowing that someone ingested essentially a poison. So it was awesome. Thank you, TG. Yes, Erin Patterson. I think I drank 3 or 4 chocolate martinis during the telling of that. Not that long of a case, but we were arting as well. So yes, chocolate martinis are my favorite fall, winter, snowy weather drink. Right, so I've mixed my resin. I didn't use my automatic resin mixer because I just didn't need it for such a small quantity. I would lose too much of it on the thing. You know what I'm talking about. The thing that's in the thing. So I just need to make sure this is all dry. Some of it is not, so I'm gonna heat it. Thank you, TG. I'm not trying to use too much heat. I'm on low because I don't want to melt my hot glue. Be advised, it can happen, it will happen, and it won't be fun when it does. So just a little bit to help the paint some. Do you guys have a case that you would like me to go over? I know that Euron Vandersloot recently essentially confessed and is being charged for Natalie Holloway's death or disappearance, rather. If you have kept up with that case, it is quite old. It's about a young girl that was on her senior trip and went to Aruba and didn't come home. Very sad. That sounds amazing, Melody. So typically I put, this is going the wrong way. Most tumbler turners you can turn off and back on and it will switch direction. I like going this way so it's easier for me to just hold on to this tab and peel the tape off when I need to. Also, if I just pour the resin out here, then I can use my right hand to smooth it out and manipulate the resin before it kind of blobs and just spills off the other side. Now, even if your gold paint is dry, if it was a liquid gold like I used on this one, don't rub onto it too much because you can tarnish it. And when this gold tarnishes, it's a not very cute brown color. So just respect the gold until it's sealed in, essentially. We knew he did it, didn't we, though? Everybody knew, especially after he was sentenced to unaliving. I still don't know what words I can and can't say on YouTube. Or that other girl in, I don't even know what country, Bali. I can't remember. But yeah, we all knew. Everybody knew. I know. I watch that story every night. And if I didn't want to, my mom was, because she went to the University of Alabama just like I did, but we went at different times. So my mom was all about like, see, because even in college, I loved to travel, still love to travel. It's my favorite thing. Probably already answered this, but I'm just tuning in. How do you keep the hot glue and epoxy to play together nicely? Will the epoxy stay on the glue? So I sanded my substrate, my tumbler, before I drenched it in a whole bunch of spray paint. And that created a tooth for my hot glue to hold on to in terms of the base substrate, um, the tumbler itself. As for the resin sticking to the hot glue that's on the surface, the answer is that I put a paint on top of it and it's going to stick to the paint that's going to stick to the tumbler. I hope that makes sense. Peru, yes, Peru. Now I have to heat this bad boy up to pop the bubbles. I'm not going to use too much heat because I don't want to melt all of my epoxy off. And when you add heat to resin, it's going to thin it. And so I also don't want to melt my hot glue under the epoxy. I don't know what that would do. Don't know what that would look like. So I'm being very delicate with the amount of heat that I'm using right now. I am seeing little pockets of bubbles because of how it's spinning. So I'm just heating those little areas up a little bit. There's a little bit much resin on here, so it's okay if I lose some of it. I already took my gloves off and I have a little spot on the base. So I'm just going to scrape some of this dripped resin and use it. As long as you have a clean mat or butcher paper under your turner, then you can use some of the resin that's falling off to put on your this. So agreed, TG. Well, we're so glad to see you. Farmhouse on the Rock. You were the first person that commented, I think, on my crime and craft. So thank you. I think this is looking pretty good, but I am concerned with some of the buildup of resin in between some of these. So I'm just going to pull it down a little bit. I don't want to create a top heavy piece, and I want it to look dimensional where the I need to do something about that tape. I want it to look dimensional where the drips are. So I don't want there to be a whole bunch of resin up there that's going to essentially flatten the look out some. Pretty sure that's not going to work, but we'll see. So I'm just going to try to drag some of that down. It will self-level again, but I just don't want too much to be up there. So you can't feel the texture of the drippy drips. And since this is a quick curing epoxy, this resin's not going to have that much time to dance around before it starts to cure. Cool. Yeah, Peru, he is evil. Okay, you're talking about Suitcase Sarah. I also want to cover the Sarah Boone case for you guys as well. But what case do you guys think I should cover next? How long do you want me to cover? Do you want me to be in depth or like just quick bits? I need to know. So that's how this is going. I'm going to pull this tape in about an hour and a half unless I forget, which may happen, but I'll still film it and upload it as a short. Maybe I'll do a quick voiceover with the short and tell you guys a quick case. Let me know what you guys think about that. I have links down in the description box if you want to get your very own Illumilite amazing quick coat epoxy. I have discount code down in the description box as well for like 15% off. Can't remember. Pick up my turner and tilt it down. So it's level. I just encapsulated a lot of resin up here because of all these essentially speed bumps. So I'm afraid if I tilt it down that I'll end up with a blurb down here, but I'm going to watch it. I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, you don't want that one reviewed, Josh? I think it's festive. I like all the color. Y'all know me. I'm big into, I want all the colors. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this, my last crime and craft, and what you guys want me to do in the next video. I would love to know. Hi, baby. You want to get down? Are you ready? Ready to get down so you can go park? You do want to go to the park? You do? Yeah. Want to get down? Come on. Want to get down? If he lays down, that's no. Okay, you can stay up here. Let's go check out Miss Ma'am. Hi, Miss Ma'am. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You guys remember when I used to do puppy cam? I think I should do that again. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something or was otherwise entertained, informed, or educated in some way on something that I had to say. I hope you tune in for my next video. If you like art things, then subscribe. If you like true crime, then make sure you tune in on Wednesday evenings, where I will tell you a true crime case and do a video for you. I will be posting the full process video of my Crime and Craft tumbler, first edition. I won't be doing a tumbler every time. It'll be a different piece of artwork every time, but that's what I did the last time. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I definitely enjoyed making it for you guys. Anyways, we got to go, but I hope you guys have an awesome evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Are we going to go live tomorrow? Where do we have to paint tomorrow? Here?
Yeah, for a little bit, and then go to Statler.
All right, maybe I'll just send you guys clips of the body painting we have to do tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you guys mañana. Be kind to one another, because you never know what someone's going through.
And always remember, we do the test.
So you don't have to. Oh my goodness, I think I almost just touched it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.